Hello everyone, Arksy here. Welcome back to Missouri River Bottom, where we are about to start, or just starting on our 2 hours of farming. Now, we are carrying on where we left off, which is basically to get these last, I think there's about 20 minutes of soybeans left to go in this field. Not too much at all, a few more passes, and it'll be done. In fact, probably enough that I just need to keep this combine empty, make sure the other two have enough space that they can keep on moving, and that should finish it off without having to have the grain cart here to unload, which is kind of important because what I'm going to do is use the next 10, 15, 20 minutes to get 2 NEXAT harvesters all set up to move into corn. Now we are going to skip forward a day because it's, as you can see, it's getting late in the evening, 5:36 p.m, 17:36, and the sun is starting to get a little bit low in the sky, so we don't want to be doing any more harvesting in the night than we actually have to. So we're going to use the time to basically get the harvesters all set up, ready to go. Once these guys are finished, we'll get them down on some headers, because the main challenge I wanted to set today was what harvests more, 3 John Deere combines with corn headers or 2 NEXATs running in the same in different fields. So I'm going to try and start them off at about the same time and just see which one can harvest the most. So that is the challenge. That's today's little mission, a little bit of a combine versus NEXAT battle, and we'll see who takes the cake. So we'll carry on here, get these guys all emptied out, finished off. We don't actually have too much capacity left in this grain cart. If I get a little bit closer to make sure it's going into the actual grain cart, there we go. But like I said, they should be able to finish off. So we'll get this run back down to the trucks. Trucks are already sitting there, and we'll go and start working on getting the NEXAT set up. So a couple of things just while we're unloading here to note. Thank you to Renz, who left a comment on the last video, who suggested if I wanted courseplay to run a little bit faster, I could actually go and set up the courseplay to run at a higher speed. So basically change the turn speeds and reverse speeds and all those kind of things, because courseplay is quite conservative. So I think we could probably quite safely try and do that. So I might do that when we set the combines up on the corn, change those speeds, although I don't know if I want them to be harvesting much faster on corn, because we all know that corn is a much higher yielding crop than what we've experienced here with the soybeans, so it could be a bit of a challenge keeping up. I'm also hopeful that auto drive for unloading might work for these fields too. We haven't set that up on this one, so that's another challenge we're going to be taking on. Secondly, we've got the tractors working over here. We've got one in this field and one back down the road, so they're doing their tasks. And then the third thing I wanted to talk about was the refueling of the Thunder Creek fuel trailer, and I think I've come up with this fix for it, or figured out what the issue was. It's the irrigation mode that was added into the realistic weather mod, which used I as a keybind for that, and of course I for me is the refill. So I think that might be the keybind clash. I think there's a few people commented that. I haven't unbound it or tested that out yet, but I do need to try and see if that will fix things. Now, why am I heading down this way? Well, we're going to set this one up. I'm just trying to figure out where the truckload points are. There they are. So we're going to, when we shift, we're going to bring the grain carts down here, and we'll unload into the same trucks. Just trying to figure out if we will unload into the same trucks. Might be a bit hard to keep track of loads, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. It's probably more who can cover the ground quicker than the other. But there we go. That's us parked up here, so we'll get that turned off. Now let's go and jump in the shop, go and grab ourselves some NEXATs. All right, down here at the Agrivision Equipment Group. Now, if we jump into the shop, always go here. Finding mods and DLCs is much easier for me if I go down and use this tab. Don't need to worry about where to look at. But here is our NEXAT pack. Now, if you're like me, I haven't used this too much. I really haven't used it since our stream with the FarmSim guy. But the tips are buy the header first, and then buy the pack, and then buy the NEXAT. I think that was the order that it went in, or was it the NEXAT then the pack? I can't remember now. It made it easier to try and get everything hooked up if you had it in the right order. So I think we'll try that. So we'll go for the gearing Hoff now. I'm going to actually have to add a bit of cash in to make this work too, as you can see, or we go through and lease them. Maybe we go through and lease them. It is going to cost us some money. We will lease them. It's going to cost us some money skipping through the night with those, but it is what it is. So we'll get one of those. We then want to go in and find the, not the seed hopper, where is the grey one? There's the grey one. So that we need to lease that. Manual discharge, no, we don't want that. That's a mod I haven't actually used yet, but we do have it installed. There we go, that's that. And then we want to go and obviously get the NEXAT itself. Limited options with what we can change apart from tyre brands. So we'll just run there with the trailer box. Right, lease that one as well. Alright, let's go and have a look. Did I get them in the right order? I did get them in the right order. So there we go. We'll be able to get that hooked up. So we get this one all hooked up. Then we'll get it over to the farm using some magic of teleportation. And then we'll be into it. or getting the second one halved at least, and then we'll be into it. Right, let's get this sorted out. Well, that took me a little bit longer. We're half an hour, just over half an hour through at the moment, but hopefully things are going to work out for us. Now we're going to go through and get everything set up. Basically, to make this as fair a test as I can, I'm going to get 2 NEXATs set up. I'll get them on their courses and running. Then we'll stop them and wait to get the combines all set up on their courses and then stop them. And then basically once everything's all ready to go, I'm just going to tab through everything and just go, 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 and get these all up and harvesting. Now, I've made a few changes to the trucks. Basically, I've set up a secondary side unload point. You can't see it because of the fog. There are some trucks down there, but I'll explain that once we've got this all up and going. But because of our usual time constraints, we're only going to have about an hour and 20 minutes of harvesting by the time we get this going. So we're just going to need to jump in and make a start. Now, the other thing to point out is that I have the most recent version of courseplay, which I think is 8.0.02 or something like that, 8102, I can't remember, but it is the most recent one. It was released 2 weeks ago, shortly after the NEXAT pack, which had a fix to use the NEXAT in courseplay. So I haven't tried it out, so fingers crossed it's going to work, or we could be in a little bit of trouble. Anyhow, enough jibber jabber, let's get in and get this all set up and going. So we'll start off with this one here. Now we need to press X or whatever button is on your controller to get this unfolded, and it's going to go through all of these animations and get everything set up. There's the courseplay version 8012, as you can see down there on the bottom. But this is going to go through and get everything all unfolded. Now we probably need to go to the header as well and press unfold on that to get all those snoots down and in position, all part of the animation. And there we go. Once that's down and going, we should be able to... Oops, let's detach that. We didn't want to do that. What's going on here? I changed the maps on my controller. Right, there we go. That got everything working. So let's just drive into here, and I'm just going to get this cut open, and then we'll make a start on setting this course up. Of course, we will have to copy this one across, but there we are. There's the first bit of corn here in with the NEXAT. So let's see if we can get this all set up for courseplay. So it's recognising we are in the NEXAT, we're in field number 25. We're going to go through our fieldwork settings. It's got the working width of 15.3 meters. Now that's the header width. I'm pretty sure the NEXAT should run at 15, so we'll try and keep it as authentic as possible. Pretty sure the wheel track on a NEXAT's 15 meters, and that's the working width they're meant to be for the seeding and everything. In fact, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. So multiple tools, 2. We want to do, let's do 2 headlands. Start on the headlands. Sharpen headland corners. Yes, I want to try and keep these settings as the same as possible. Do 0 rounded corners. Fieldwork center. We will go into lands. Now I've got myself in trouble the last couple of times by doing my lands in the right direction. I do want them to be counterclockwise, not clockwise, if I'm correct. So there we go. We'll bump that down to 4, and that looks good. So let's generate that course. We'll see what we end up with. Right, and there we go. That looks pretty reasonable. So we're going to quickly save that course as field 25 NEXATs, and then we'll be able to load it up onto the second one so we can get them both going, and then we'll move on to the combines. It's the same story here with this one. We're just going to very quickly get it all unfolded into operating position, and then we'll load the course up. I do need to make sure I set the front one as the left combine and this one is the right hand side. Otherwise we're going to end up in trouble when it comes time to get them running in the right order. But there we go, get that all unfolded, get the course loaded. Now we should be able to do that. Jump into here, go into our course manager, put our F25 NEXAT and load course there for that. Exit out of here. Now this is going to be our right hand side one, but we will just very quickly turn everything on, drive on in here. Like I said, go over, and because we want to start at first waypoint as well, get this all set up so it's in the right position and ready to go. There we go. Nice big chunk of corn getting taken out in one pass with these headers. They are massive. Right, there we go. So that's that sorted. Turn that back off. Set that to right. First waypoint. And then we'll be good to go. Likewise in here. First waypoint and left. So when we come in, we can press go and it'll be underway. Right, so let's go get the combines up and moving. It's pretty much rinse and repeat. We'll drive into the field just a touch and get these going. These headers look tiny, don't they? I know they're a big combine, but gosh, that header looks small compared to what we were just dealing with the NEXAT. But do enjoy the fog and farm sim. Alright, so we'll just make sure we get in far enough we can queue the 3 combines behind us. There we go, that should just about do. We'll turn that off and we'll get the course set up. So same settings again. We're only 9 meters wide on these headers, so you can already see the NEXAT should have a big advantage. So we're taking 27 meters, they're taking 30 meters. So it's going to be an interesting test. It's going to be an interesting test. Everything else is the same though. We've got 2 headlands, sharpened headland corners activated, 0. Set our lands, it's counterclockwise, 4 rows per land. So I think that's us good to go. And there we go, we've got all the courses through here, but that's the one we want, which looks about right. So we're just going to jump into here, we'll create a new folder. I think that was the right one. Confused now, did I have field 14? We are in field 14, right, create new field. F14 and we'll get that one saved. Make sure we're on first waypoint, we've got this one set to left, and we'll be good to get that set up and ready to go, and we'll get the next ones moving. There we go, combine number 3 is all lined up and ready to go. So we've got the NEXATs over one side, the combines over the other, and things are sorted. Now, I'm a little bit nervous that I'm not going to be able to get the grain carts all set up and running in time, so fingers crossed we can get that sorted, but I think it's time. We have got an hour and 15 minutes remaining, so we're not going to get anything done sitting here. Let's press play on this one, tab through the next one, press play on this as well, tab through the next one, press play on that as well. It's going to drive forward once it can, and they'll be underway. Right, leave them there, run over to the NEXATs, and we'll go and see how we get on with those. Oh goodness, this is already stressing me out. Organised chaos, I think someone described it as in the previous video. It's making me sweat. So there we go, up into left hand side, first waypoint, press start on that, and courseplay is taking over like a charm. I'm intrigued to see what's going to happen when we get up to the truck with the cab hanging out like that. That could be an issue, but we just need to get these going. Right, turn those all off, press start on the first waypoint, and we'll be off and going. What would be interesting actually is if we had a look to see how much time these ones said it's going to take. An hour and 33 to harvest the field here in the NEXATs, and an hour 52 here on the combines. So we're not going to get it all done today, but it's going to be interesting to see who can get the most done. Right, we need to go and get grain carts sorted out and trucks up and moving, and make sure these combines can keep on the go. Alright, so first things first, let's see if we can record a course to get the grain cart here up and moving. So this is going to be for the NEXATs in field 25. We're just going to do our little loop now. As I've said before, this is not ideal because the truck and grain cart aren't facing in the same and opposite directions, but we'll just have to make do with what we've got there. Just make sure we can get a proper angle on this. With only a single truck, it's probably not going to be an issue. It's just making sure that they don't overlap, or they overlap enough. Can be a bit of a problem, but let's just make that our waypoint there. So we'll be calling this F25 grain cart unload, GC unload, and then we just need to wrap around and complete our circle. Give it an F25 a GC weight, and then go tell that to the NEXATs. There we go, that should be good. Finish that off, and give it a label. Right, get that done, and then we'll go and do the same on the other field. Well, fingers crossed, I have everything set up and working, but this is a little bit stressful. These grain carts are set up now. I did have to cheekily go and put this grain cart in the field, which is not ideal, but until the combines have come around and done the headlands, I should have brought them down and started here, so this bit was opened up. So we'll just have to look past that for now. It is what it is. The other thing, actually, I noticed that we had a bit of soybeans left in one of these grain carts, so we've got to run this truck down. It's got a few soybeans in it now, go and get that emptied out. Otherwise that's going to be a problem, but we should be able to keep on top of that for now, and not hold us up. So I'll get on top of that, and then we'll go and see how the combines and things are done. So my first observations as we're down here in the NEXATs is that they don't work very well on the corners, for doing those square corners. I'd probably, if I was doing this again, I would have let the NEXATs on rounded corners just to avoid any little hiccups, particularly when you've got a second one following close. If it was on its own, probably not too much of a drama, but yeah, two following close by is not that easy to manage. So it gets by, and obviously this was going to give us a bit of a space as that one manoeuvres around the corner, but yeah, this one just takes a little bit longer to do its corner manoeuvres. But we're cruising along here, about 55% full. Not sure why we've got the auto drive up and open, and I think it's doing a good job actually. It's a beast, it really is an impressive piece of kit. I love jumping into cab. We can't spin it around because it's being driven by the AI, but being able to spin the cab around and actually look at the header, it's such a cool perspective and a unique way to look at a field, and yeah, such impressive visibility. I do think it's a pretty stunning and impressive piece of equipment. But that's that. Let's go and have a look at the combines. Well, the corn's starting to heap up on the top of this one. Not sure why that second one stopped at the moment as well. It's a bit strange. We can see, there it goes, moves again. The grain cart has made it down to the end of the field. You can see it just over there next to that tree through the fog. But it needs to get here pretty soon or we're going to be full and needing an unload. In fact, I'm surprised it hasn't already called for one here. It's going to stop soon because it'll get to 95%, but pretty close to getting actually the whole way around the field, which is kind of impressive. You see that truck coming back, that's the one that had the soybeans in it. So here we go, it's 95%. Let's just see, is the grain cart? Yeah, it's starting to move again now. But this is not ideal because it is going to cause a little bit of a hold up. Be actually an interesting challenge to do this in a multiplayer server if you had a couple of people able to run the grain carts while the combines were doing their things. It's just going to do a cut in here, is it? Yeah. Again, not ideal because it's going to hold up the next combine, but hopefully it's not going to take too long for that grain cart to catch up to us and keep them moving. So far so good, things are working out. We're just on 1 hour of game time played so far, so it'll be interesting to see, exactly like I said, how far we get through this now. 41, so the combines in here are not going to get this corn finished. I don't think the NEXAT's going to get the other one done either, but yeah, it's progressing. It's fun. It's always enjoyable. I love sorting these things out. So one of the things I get a buzz out is making this all work and running all on its own. What have we got at the moment? We've got 5 combines. Look at that grain cart. Let's not look at that grain cart. We've got 5 combines running courseplay, or 2 NEXATs, 3 combines, and the 2 tractors still doing some tillage in the fields. You can just see the quad track over in the distance there towards the grain bins. But yeah, things are moving. Right, let's try and keep on top of it. Well, here's our next issue. Trees on the edge of the field for the NEXAT because of the position of the head or the cab sticking out the side. So let's just have to manually negotiate our way around here. See if we can get that going. Oops, don't want to hire a worker. Great to see the grain cart's made it down here. That is a positive. Get that lowered down. It's probably going, I'm not needed now because we don't have a call to work, and it's going to head back. That's right. I'm sure things will get in position as soon as it can. Right, let's see. Can't change my view to get a good angle on this. This is where changing that cab, pivoting that cab around would be helpful, wouldn't it? There we go. That got us around it? I think so. Couple of corn plants not quite got there, but that's us past. Right, are we going to make it past these next ones? Let's just carry on driving this manually down to the corner just to get this headland opened up. We'll take the penalty against the NEXATs of me driving by having the one at the back there not actually running at the moment. Kind of offsets the fact that the other combines aren't working at the moment either. Right, it's just, yeah, going to hit that tree. My buttons for the cab, there it is. Swing that cab right in. There we go, that should get us past. I wonder when I rehire the courseplay worker whether they're going to stay on this angle, looking back across, or whether they're going to try and change it back to how they want it to be, kind of the default angle. Guess we'll find out in just a sec. Get this turned around the corner. Like I said, cheating a little bit by doing this ourselves, but look at how much more efficient we can turn that corner than the coursplay's been. Right, set this on to the nearest waypoint. Press go again. And it does. Looks like it's going to keep the cab on this angle, which is kind of an idea. So if you want to keep the cab folded in, manually set the position before you want to set courseplay going. So we are, second one back up and moving. I'm amazed that that grain cart drove all the way back down to the other end of the field. That's interesting. I'm surprised it did that. Anyhow, these guys are getting closer to full, so we should see the grain cart back down here anytime soon. If I can figure out exactly where it is. Well, I'm not sure what the problem with that one was. The grain cart was just stuck sitting out in the middle of the field and not unloading, which is a little bit frustrating. Kind of got here, but not. Don't know whether it couldn't negotiate a path between the 2 combines to get out of it, but yeah, not sure exactly on that one. Do have to remember that auto drive courseplay, all of those mods are still very much in the development stage. There's still things being figured out, still improvements being made. So while it's by no means perfect, does work reasonably well most of the time, and you just have to sort of grin and bear those little hiccups, little issues that you might get at times. But anyhow, I'm going to get this combine emptied out. It can't be too much longer. Back this back out of the way, and we'll set it to go again, because hopefully now that there's enough room for all the other combines, we shouldn't have any more problems with it. So bring up our auto drive We're just going to press play. See if we can figure this one out. It's just going to drive off. See ya. It's doing an argsy into the drink. At least it's a powerful enough tractor, it'll just pull up out of it, right? Anyhow, let's go and see what's happening with this other grain cart and if it's now going to catch up with the NEXATs. Well, it's catching up of sorts. It had come from the other direction, so I'm not quite sure where it's trying to get to. If I just bring this up, it said it's chasing the combine, trying to figure out it's currently on the rear side, needs to catch it, needs to be on the other side, so yeah, again, not sure what's going on here. Hopefully it's going to find itself in the right position. Of course, don't even know where the unload augers are exactly on the NEXATs. I know they're on the side there, I think, behind the cab. Maybe just trying to figure that out and get in the right spot. On another note, I've been noticing all these little patches through here. I'm assuming that that is part of the realistic weather mod, and we've had sort of drought conditions, and you can see our patchy crop through there where we've had some lost yield. Yeah, interesting. That was a feature I really liked in Seasons in Farming Simulator 19. Possibly one of the best mods, but you'd get sort of drought conditions and you'd get some crop loss and things like that. Maybe not to this extreme, but I think that's kind of a cool little feature. Definitely not the hail and tornado destruction we've seen elsewhere. Looks like that NEXAT's cutting in and going to be calling for an unload in just a second. Let's just wait and see if the course play, whether the grain cart will catch up to it or not. There we go, augers coming out. Can this figure out where it needs to go? It's waiting for the combine's turn. I wonder if it's too close to the corner. No, it's now chasing the combine. Let's just see if we can go and get there to unload. Waiting for room. This is the current situation we're in. No, now it's driving to the pipe. Let's see if we can figure this out. Kind of caught up and then stopped and backed. This is looking promising. Pop out from behind the rear NEXAT here. That's it. Keep going, drive, you've got it. I believe. There we go. Is this it? Fingers crossed. Nailed it. Perfect. Getting a whole lot of blocked by object warnings, and I'm looking over at those combines in the corner and thinking that is a bit of a mess. Right. More work to go and tidy up. There we go, we've got that back up and underway now. One of the settings I might just play with here under the tractor is we can change the convoy distance. Currently 75 metres, which I thought would have been enough, but I might just bump that up to 100. I do like having them close because it looks really nice when you see them following nice and close, but when they do get too close it doesn't work out very well for us. But I'm pleased that grain cart did manage to get the NEXATs unloaded on the other side. That's a positive, and we can see the grain cart here's managing to get these combines unloaded too, which is good as well. Well, our next little problem arose as the lead combine or lead NEXAT there was trying to get turned on the corner, and this one caught up. So we're just taking the chance to manually get in here and unload into the grain cart. Of course, it's not going to take it all, and that's one of the issues with these because they have such a big hopper. We're only going to be able to unload, what, half of this one and one full NEXAT. So they are only able to take a certain amount. Now, that folded back in. That grain cart's full, so it should hopefully go and unload into the truck. I can see the other one over the other way there is doing the same, so fingers crossed that that's all going to work. Get this turned back on, lower it down, and get it up and running again. Kind of cheated a little bit by turning both the corners with this one, but here we go. I'll tell you what, 2 headland passes on these opens up a big chunk of the field, doesn't it? I'll tell you what, look at that picture. 2 trucks, 2 grain carts. Grain carts both look like they're trying to unload. 2 NEXATs are running on one side. We've got the combines, 3 combines on the other side, all running on a pretty much autonomous route. Now that we've got the headlands opened up, I'm fingers crossed things are going to run a lot better. I have set that NEXAT off and it's running up and down. It's not doing the next path like it should, so we'll go and fix that. That's a little bit of a faux pas on my part. I thought I'd set it in the right position, but this one's getting in and unloading. We saw the other grain cart get in and unload in the right position there for the truck, and it's got out of the way and parked where it shouldn't. But anyhow, things are moving, things are working. So I think what happened there, as you can see from the path, is we'd actually caught up on the end of the last headland, which is where it wants to turn around. It's actually going to go back and down that way to then go and start on the lands, because you can see the lands are running in the same direction we're harvesting at the moment. So we should be right to get press near us now. There we go, that is going to head off and finish this last headland path. So it's working. It takes a little bit of fine tuning, it takes a little bit of messing around and getting things set up properly, but so far so good. And probably if we're going to have a look in the trucks, it'd be a good time to suss out how much we've got. 20,000 litres in here. I'm assuming both grain carts are pretty much full, so we're probably not too far different between what each side's harvested. So 41,000 litres sitting in the truck here, it's 80% full, just about worth sending it back because it'll get full and the grain cart will then sit here and not go anywhere. And that's the problem with having trucks not going in the opposite direction to the grain cart, because if the grain cart's sitting there waiting for a truck, the truck won't actually drive past where it is and fill up on it. So that's the downside. I knew there was a negative to having it done this way. Up in here, 39,000, so slightly more, and probably if you count the fact that the second NEXAT there is 2/3 full already. So the NEXATs are winning just at the moment, even just looking at the width that they've taken off. But yeah, it's an interesting little test. Well, we're coming up on 7 or so minutes left to go in our 2 hours, and things have gone well. I'm not going to lie, it has required some babysitting and a little bit of intervention here and there. It's certainly not a case of leaving everything running and just getting up and walking away and making a cup of coffee or chilling out and doing something else while it's all going. But all in all, things seem to be going alright. You can see grain cart unloading there into the truck. It's obviously got the truck full. Another grain cart over the other side unloading. You can actually see the 9RX down there in the corner. That's all finished. But yeah, just normal issues you get with this this combine or this NEXAT. It's got quite a way ahead of the other one. So what's going to happen is it's going to turn at the end here and actually go across and skip a row effectively, which isn't quite what we want. But it is what it is. And the same thing happened over actually on the other side with the cornfield with the John Deere combines. A few issues there. I do recall what the teething issue was. I did mention it before, but you can see where that grain cart's parked. The truck won't get to that trigger, and basically the grain cart's just going to sit there until you tell it to do something. So basically, in fact, I'll go and show you what we normally do with that. So as you can see there, we've got 50% of a grain cart sitting in here, but the truck will stop short. That's why you want the truck basically coming towards you, because the two weight points then cross over, but at this way around they never cross over. So all I do for this is either turn it off and turn it on again, but actually if you just press the arrow there, that's going to send it to its next point, and should actually go out and unload whatever's waiting to be unloaded. I know one of those NEXATs was getting close to full, the lead one there was getting close to full, so hopefully it'll go and unload that. But yeah, look at things moving on the other side. The combines are in a sense of order. I did have to stop the first one just to let the other two catch up, or again we were going to have the same issues we've got there on the NEXATs as well. But to just take a look at the map, so we've made a decent dent in it. Field 25 is 100 acres. I'd say we've probably harvested half of that maybe. 14 is 90, 80. So a little bit smaller, but I almost feel like this one we've knocked out more of. I'm not sure, just visually looking at it, looks skinnier, but I think the fact it's just long and skinny is what gives that impact. Fascinated by these spots, and actually if you jump out here, you can see we've got a 3.7% chance of withering due to moisture, because our moisture is at 1.2%. Ideal moisture is 15 to 20. So that's obviously what our issue is. Getting these little patches, if we can find one just walking through here. We're going to be able to now. This is also not a very smart thing to do when there is combines operating in the field to go and walk through. In fact, if we just jump up into a third person view, might be able to find one to go and look at. There it is. Is that one? Yeah, right there. You can just get these little patches with just a couple of plants. So I'm not against it. I'm not against that at all. If there's moisture issues, I think that's pretty cool. Now I do know as well there is a irrigation mod. There's another bigger patch. The irrigation mod that's been added in with the realistic weather. I know you can irrigate fields and basically try and bring your moisture back up. But from what I've heard, not that I've tested it myself, the cost of irrigating is quite high. So while the concept's pretty impressive and pretty well worked out that you get these patches in here, there is some things that still need to be fine-tuned, but it is what it is. Now I've gone completely the wrong way, haven't I? Yep, I'm running into certain death with NEXATs running both ways. Alright, let's get our way out of here and we'll just go and summarize things for the day. So as our 2 hours rolls around, it's a good place to wrap things up. Just looking at the combines here, running line astern and working out quite nicely at the moment. Grain cart doing its thing. Is there a difference between the two? We spin around and see the NEXATs. I really don't think there is. If we had a third NEXAT, obviously would, but just think about the price of the equipment that you have in there. Is this a fair test using the S7? Should we be using an X9 or running at least a 12 meter grain header, 12 meter corn header, 16 row is it? I think there's a big one in the mod in the shop. Let's just have a look. So we're running the Geringhoff here, the 9 meter 12 row. But you look down here, we've actually got a 16 row John Deere header, which we could have run, which is 12 meters, or even gone up to the Geringhoff, the bigger one, the 13 meter, which I think is an 18 row. Now, 3 of those, that's going to add up to 39 meters versus the 30 meters that the NEXATs are doing. So, you start doing your maths with the cost of investments and things like that. It would have actually potentially worked out better if we had a slightly bigger header, maybe with a bigger combine, because I'm not sure if the S7 would be powerful enough to run these, but certainly something to think about in the future. And sort of when you're trying to compare the two machines, I guess the beauty of the NEXAT is you can cultivate, you can seed, you can spray with it, so it does become a little bit more versatile than say just having a combine which you might use for a month or two at a time. So it's been fun to use it. This is the first time I've managed to sort of use it in any sort of anger. Yeah, so it's been enjoyable. As for next time, well, obviously we'll be back here and completing this. The tillage will keep on working. We've got that field just being finished over there by the quad track. Once again, spin around, and we've got the John Deere sitting down there idle, waiting to get into the next field. So basically this big one in here is ready to go. We've got these two which will be ready to go soon as well. So well on top of tillage, and we will be carrying on with that. But for now, I guess in terms of a tally, I think this truck's been back twice and that one has only been back once. So we're going to have to pick a winner. I guess it's the NEXATs at the moment. That's where we're looking and that's where we're sitting. So as always, I hope you found that enjoyable. Thank you all very much for watching and for continuing to support this series. I'm having a lot of fun putting it together and just playing around with all these different moving parts. I've got a few more things planned in the coming week, so keep an eye out for those. But definitely next week we'll be in here and finishing off this harvest. But yeah, for today, that is us done. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.